In the crucible of colonial Mexico, a beacon of pre-Columbian knowledge flickered to life. The year was 1552. From the Colegio de Santa Cruz de Tlatelolco, an extraordinary work emerged. This wasn't merely a document. It was a testament to the advanced medical understanding of the Aztec people. A masterpiece born from profound observation and centuries of healing traditions, destined for a journey it could not foresee. At its heart was Martín de la Cruz, a revered Aztec physician. He meticulously penned the original text in Nahuatl, recording an intricate pharmacopoeia. His knowledge, honed through generations, captured a holistic approach to wellness, far beyond anything contemporary European medicine understood. This was not folk remedy. It was a systematic medical science, cataloging nature's secrets with unparalleled precision and insight. Then came the scholarly hand of Juan Badiano. Tasked with translation, he transformed de la Cruz's Nahuatl into the elegant Latin of the European academic world. The result was Libellus de Medicinalibus Indorum Herbis, or Little Book of the Medicinal Herbs of the Indians. This crucial translation ensured its potential recognition by the Spanish crown, a bridge between two vastly different medical philosophies. Within its pages lay 185 detailed botanical illustrations. Each plant, rendered with exquisite accuracy, was accompanied by precise instructions for preparation and application. These weren't crude sketches. They were scientific diagrams, highlighting distinguishing features crucial for identification. From roots to bark, a vast array of natural substances offered sophisticated treatments for conditions Europeans had yet to fully grasp. The manuscript's remedies showcased a profound understanding of organic chemistry and human physiology. Aztec medicine addressed a spectrum of ailments, from cardiovascular conditions to neurological disorders, even infectious diseases. They utilized complex combinations of plants, minerals, and animal products, a pharmacological tapestry interwoven with centuries of practical experience and empirical data. A truly advanced system of healing. This monumental work was no accident. It was a strategic effort to demonstrate native intellectual capability. Dedicated to Francisco de Mendoza, son of Viceroy Antonio de Mendoza, it was intended as a powerful gift to King Philip II of Spain. A plea for recognition, a showcase of indigenous genius that the conquerors often denied, hoping to influence Spanish policy towards their newly acquired lands. Bound in rich velvet and adorned with gold leaf, the physical manuscript itself was a work of art. More than its material value, its true worth lay in representing the most comprehensive botanical catalog of pre-Columbian medical science ever compiled. It was a tangible piece of a civilization's intellectual legacy, hoping to find reverence, not dismissal, on the other side of the Atlantic. The journey across the ocean began, carrying with it the hopes of an empire subdued but not silenced. The Badianus Manuscript, a bridge of knowledge, set sail for a new world. What reception awaited this extraordinary compendium of healing? Would its wisdom be embraced, or would it be lost in the tides of conquest and cultural suppression, its light dimmed by suspicion and ignorance? It was a stark contrast to the medical understanding prevalent in 16th century Europe. While European physicians often relied on bloodletting and purges, the Aztecs possessed nuanced pharmacognosy. This manuscript offered a glimpse into a world where plants held powerful, scientifically proven properties. A testament to nature's pharmacy, meticulously documented, waiting to be understood, if only given the chance to be seen. This 1552 creation, born from an empire's heart, held the secrets of hundreds of plants. It was a declaration of scientific achievement, carefully crafted to speak across cultures and continents. But as it landed on Spanish shores, its fate became uncertain, its precious knowledge poised on the brink of a 4th-century disappearance into the shadows of history. The story of its vanishing was about to begin. The finely bound manuscript, a symbol of intellectual achievement, arrived in Spain intended for King Philip II. Yet, its journey quickly veered off course. It wouldn't grace royal libraries as a testament to indigenous genius. Instead, the Badianus Manuscript, with its vibrant illustrations and ancient wisdom, was deemed an anomaly, a threat to the established European order. Its arrival marked not a celebration of knowledge, but the beginning of its forced obscurity. Almost immediately, the manuscript disappeared from public royal inventories. This wasn't an oversight, but a deliberate act. European medical authorities, steeped in their own, sometimes primitive, traditions, had no interest in validating indigenous botanical knowledge. To acknowledge such sophistication would undermine the colonial narrative of European superiority, a narrative crucial to maintaining control over newly conquered territories and their peoples. The Spanish Inquisition, a chilling instrument of religious and cultural repression, played a significant role. Indigenous herbal texts, often intertwined with spiritual beliefs, were systematically targeted and confiscated. They were classified as forbidden practices, heretical deviations from Christian doctrine. Whole libraries of native knowledge, some still unknown to us today, were destroyed in these brutal campaigns, erasing centuries of accumulated wisdom. The Badianus Manuscript, however, escaped outright destruction, only to be swallowed by a different kind of darkness, the private collections of European elites. It became a curiosity, a hidden gem for the privileged few, its true significance as a medical treatise lost in translation and neglect. Its original purpose to share invaluable healing knowledge was rendered obsolete within these opulent, yet hermetically sealed, environments. One such collector was Diego de Cordovilla, the Spanish royal apothecary. It's a bitter irony that a text detailing sophisticated herbal remedies found its way into the library of someone whose profession was dedicated to medicines. Yet, even in his care, the Badianus Manuscript remained isolated. A silent testament to a world of healing he likely never fully grasped or shared with the wider medical community of his time. As centuries turned, the manuscript continued its silent migration. By the 17th century, another powerful figure, Cardinal Francesco Barberini, acquired the lost codex. A preeminent collector and patron of the arts, Barberini added the Badianus to his vast private library in Rome. Like Cordovilla, he prized its aesthetic beauty and historical rarity, rather than its groundbreaking medical content. Within the Barberini collection, the manuscript found a new, albeit still obscure, home. For generations, it sat upon shelves, unstudied by European physicians, its secrets gathering dust. Its journey mirrored a broader pattern, the systematic marginalization of non-European knowledge, deemed inferior or irrelevant by the dominant powers of the age, perpetuating a narrow, ethnocentric view of science and medicine. The true irony, however, came at the turn of the 20th century. In 1902, the Barberini collection, including the now-forgotten Aztec Codex, was integrated into the Vatican Apostolic Library. The Badianus Manuscript, once a vibrant bridge between two worlds, disappeared into the labyrinthine halls of one of the most historically significant and secretive institutions on Earth. Its journey was far from over. Within the Vatican's subterranean archives, the Aztec Medical Codex remained uncatalogued, a ghost in the vast spectral sea of knowledge. For nearly 4 centuries, it lay dormant, its delicate pages preserving an unparalleled record of pre-Columbian healing. Mainstream medical history, shaped by European narratives, continued to assert that such sophisticated pharmacological records simply did not exist outside of the Western world. The suppression wasn't always active. Sometimes it was merely the product of ignorance and omission. The narrative of discovery and progress in Europe often necessitated the erasure of other civilizations' contributions. The Badianus Manuscript, despite its physical preservation, was effectively erased from the collective consciousness of the very people who could have benefited most from its wisdom. What untold remedies, what forgotten treatments for diseases might have been found within its pages? For 400 years, the potential for advanced botanical science languished, locked away. Imagine the lives that could have been saved, the suffering that could have been alleviated, had this knowledge been openly embraced rather than systematically hidden, dismissed, and forgotten. The motives behind its erasure and subsequent neglect were complex. A blend of ethnocentrism, religious zeal, and the sheer inertia of established scientific paradigms conspired to keep the Codex out of public view. It challenged too many assumptions about who possessed true intellectual and medical authority, threatening the very foundations of colonial power and European dominance. Even when the Barberini collection entered the Vatican, the manuscript's unique nature prevented its immediate recognition. Its Latin title, misleadingly European, masked its indigenous origins. It was simply one codex among thousands, awaiting the unlikely touch of a discerning eye, a researcher willing to look beyond the surface and challenge existing historical narratives. This monumental neglect served to reinforce a pervasive myth that pre-Columbian societies were primitive, lacking systematic scientific records. The Badianus Manuscript, had it been known, would have shattered this misconception. Its absence from medical discourse helped perpetuate the very stereotypes that justified colonial conquest and the exploitation of their lands and resources. The story of the Badianus Manuscript is a cautionary tale of institutional censorship, both active and passive. It's a stark reminder of how powerful institutions can control knowledge, shaping our understanding of history and the capabilities of diverse cultures. The crushing weight of its absence in public discourse created a void that lasted for centuries, leaving global medicine poorer. And so, in the silent, temperature-controlled vaults of the Vatican, the vibrant pages of the Libellus de Medicinalibus Indorum Herbis awaited. A medical marvel from the Western Hemisphere, lost and found, only to be lost again, hidden in plain sight. Its colors still brilliant, its remedies still potent, patiently awaiting the moment it would finally be rediscovered and its voice, once silenced, would speak again. The irony of its preservation within the Vatican is profound. The very institution that, in some historical periods, contributed to the suppression of indigenous knowledge, inadvertently became the guardian of one of its most priceless scientific treasures. Yet, for nearly 400 years, this guardianship was a form of imprisonment, denying the world the wisdom contained within its elaborate botanical illustrations. Our journey through the shadows of history now brings us to an unlikely hero. For centuries, the Badianus Manuscript lay dormant, a forgotten testament to a lost civilization. Its whispers of ancient remedies remained unheard, its vibrant illustrations unseen. But in the quiet halls of the Vatican, far removed from the clamor of the outside world, a seed of discovery was about to be planted. Hope, it seems, has a way of finding its way to the darkest corners. The stage for this pivotal moment was the Vatican Library in 1929. Enter Charles Upson Clark, an American researcher, on a mission to survey Latin manuscripts. He was not looking for a lost Aztec codex, but rather methodically poring over ancient texts, a scholar in the purest sense. Little did he know, his meticulous work would soon unravel a mystery spanning continents and centuries, forever changing our understanding of medical history. Amidst the countless scrolls and codices, one particular volume caught Clark's eye. It was catalogued as Codex Barberini Latinus 241. Its unassuming exterior belied the treasures within. As he carefully opened its pages, a world of vibrant color and meticulous detail unfolded before him. He saw something extraordinary, not merely a Latin text, but a profound cultural artifact, a bridge between two worlds. What Clark discovered were brilliant native watercolor illustrations, depicting indigenous Mexican flora with breathtaking accuracy. Beside them, familiar Latin script intertwined with the evocative sounds of Nahuatl plant names. It was an unmistakable convergence, a testament to a scientific tradition that had been systematically suppressed. This was no ordinary manuscript. It was a living record of pre-Columbian wisdom, daring to speak again. News of Clark's discovery reverberated across the scientific community. The sheer audacity of a comprehensive botanical catalog from 16th century Mesoamerica, a period often dismissed as scientifically primitive, was staggering. It challenged deeply ingrained European prejudices about indigenous knowledge. The world was about to receive a profound lesson in humility, a stark reminder of what had been lost. The next crucial step involved the pharmacologists at Johns Hopkins University. Here, the ancient Aztec remedies met modern scientific scrutiny. The manuscript listed 185 herbal remedies with precise instructions for preparation. These were not mere folklore, they were sophisticated prescriptions. This was where the true vindication of Aztec medical science would either flourish or fade. The stakes were incredibly high. Laboratory testing began. Scientists meticulously analyzed the botanical compounds, following the detailed instructions laid out by Martín de la Cruz and Juan Badiano centuries ago. The results were startling. Several native plants described in the 1552 Codex contained active pharmacological compounds remarkably effective against pain, fever, and inflammation. The ancient wisdom was not just poetic, it was powerfully, scientifically true. This wasn't simply a validation, it was a revelation. The rediscovery proved, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that 16th century Aztec physicians possessed advanced botanical science. Their knowledge rivaled, and in some aspects, even exceeded Renaissance European medicine. The idea of primitive, indigenous healthcare shattered under the weight of scientific evidence, replaced by a profound respect for their sophisticated understanding. The intricate combinations of roots, bark, and minerals were not random concoctions. They were systematically prescribed to treat a range of ailments, from cardiovascular to neurological and infectious diseases. This was organized, evidence-based medicine, centuries ahead of its time. The meticulous detail in the Badianus Manuscript spoke volumes about the systematic approach to healing practiced in pre-Columbian societies. The vindication of the Aztecs' medical prowess was not just an academic victory. It was a powerful counter-narrative to centuries of cultural denigration and scientific racism. For too long, indigenous knowledge had been dismissed as superstition. Now, the Badianus Manuscript stood as an undeniable monument to a scientific legacy that demanded recognition and respect, rewriting a crucial chapter of global history. In 1935, the Badianus Manuscript was finally published, making its contents accessible to a wider world. This act of scholarly restitution sparked an international demand, primarily from Mexican historians, for the return of this invaluable cultural artifact. The time for its repatriation, however, would still be a long time coming. The journey out of Europe had begun, but it was far from over. The implications of these findings were immense. The Badianus Manuscript wasn't just a historical curiosity, it was a blueprint for modern pharmacology. It contained ancient solutions to contemporary medical challenges, offering a bridge to undiscovered cures. This rediscovered knowledge held the potential to unlock new frontiers in medicine, proving that ancient wisdom was anything but obsolete. This extraordinary manuscript shattered preconceived notions of what constituted advanced medicine during the Renaissance. While Europe navigated its own path of discovery, an entire continent had developed an equally, if not more, sophisticated understanding of plant-based pharmacology. The Badianus Manuscript forced a re-evaluation of medical history on a global scale, correcting centuries of Eurocentric bias. The saga of the Badianus Manuscript became a powerful symbol of cultural patrimony. Its rediscovery highlighted the systemic loss of indigenous knowledge due to colonial practices. It underscored the importance of preserving and respecting diverse scientific traditions, not just for historical accuracy, but for the potential benefits they hold for all of humanity. The artifact had found its voice again. The world had glimpsed the Badianus Manuscript's profound insights, its vibrant artistry, and its irrefutable scientific validity. The journey from the Vatican to Mexico was still decades away, a testament to the complex negotiations and the slow wheels of institutional change. But the seed had been planted. The demand for its return would only grow louder, echoing the voices of a once silent civilization. The validation by Johns Hopkins wasn't just about plants and compounds. It was about honoring intellect and resilience. It proved that despite conquest, disease, and suppression, the scientific spirit of the Aztec people endured, etched in the pages of this remarkable codex. Their advanced knowledge was not speculative but demonstrable, a testament to centuries of observation, experimentation, and accumulated wisdom. The discovery of Codex Barberini 241 was more than just finding an old book. It was an awakening, a realization that history had been incomplete, even biased. It wasn't just a document, it was a bridge, connecting us to a rich tapestry of knowledge that had been unjustly confined for centuries. The Badianus Manuscript had, at last, stepped from the shadows into the light. The shadows of nearly 4 centuries clung to the Badianus Manuscript within the Vatican's archives. Then, in the spring of 1990, a new chapter began. Pope John Paul II, on an official visit to Mexico, carried with him not only diplomatic greetings but also a profound historical gesture. In a moment that resonated across continents, the ancient text was formally offered back to the Mexican people. It was a rectification long overdue, acknowledging a stolen legacy. The handover symbolized more than just the return of a book. It was the restoration of a foundational medical text to its rightful home. The 438-year odyssey of the Badianus Manuscript finally concluded. This act ended centuries of displacement, placing the invaluable scientific and cultural artifact back into the hands of the nation from which it originated, allowing its wisdom to once again inform and inspire. Upon its return, the Badianus Manuscript was entrusted to the National Library of Anthropology and History, or INAH, in Mexico City. Here, under the most stringent security and climate-controlled environments, its delicate pages are preserved. This institution, a guardian of Mexican heritage, now protects the book, ensuring its survival for future generations and providing access for scholarly investigation into its profound content. And the research continues. Modern ethnobotanists and pharmacologists at INAH are diligently studying the 185 plant formulas detailed within the manuscript. Their quest is to identify forgotten natural compounds, potentially unlocking new pathways for modern pharmacological research. The ancient wisdom of the Aztec healers could still hold keys to future cures, a testament to its enduring scientific value centuries later. The 4th-century suppression of this vital Aztec herbal manuscript is not an isolated incident. It mirrors a broader, tragic loss. the destruction of countless pre-Columbian scientific texts during the Spanish conquest. This systemic erasure of indigenous knowledge represents an immeasurable void in humanity's collective understanding. The Badianus Manuscript serves as a poignant reminder of what was lost. Yet its physical survival provides rare, incontrovertible primary proof of sophisticated Mesoamerican scientific achievement. It challenges all preconceived notions that pre-Columbian societies lacked systematic pharmacological records. The manuscript's very existence, against all odds, stands as a powerful refutation of historical biases that once dismissed the intellectual capabilities of indigenous cultures. The return of this 1552 codex compels us to ask difficult questions. How many other indigenous scientific manuscripts lie uncatalogued, forgotten in the dusty confines of European archives? What other monumental discoveries, what other cures, what other understanding of the natural world remain hidden, awaiting recognition? The Badianus Manuscript cracks open a long-sealed vault of knowledge. The institutional suppression of native botanical science undoubtedly delayed global medical understanding for centuries. The tropical active compounds, meticulously documented by Martín de la Cruz, could have informed and revolutionized European medicine centuries earlier. Imagine the breakthroughs, the suffering averted, had this knowledge been embraced rather than discarded as forbidden practice. The 185 remedies recorded by Martín de la Cruz remain a vital living bridge between ancient indigenous wisdom and modern biochemical science. The stark contrast between 400 years of institutional neglect and the modern pharmacological validation of these remedies highlights the immense, untold cost of erased history. We are only now beginning to comprehend what was truly lost. The Badianus Manuscript rests safely in Mexico City today. Its 185 exquisitely illustrated pages open once more to the world. The question is no longer whether ancient Americans possessed advanced medical science, but rather, what other ancient secrets, what other profound knowledge, what other lost sciences still remain hidden, perhaps forever, in the silent, forgotten archives of history? The quest continues.